Greetings and welcome to another Good Vibes Book Club session. This is where we discuss a motivational book each and every week. And this week we're discussing the book Awaken the Giant Within by Anthony Robbins. We have chosen 3 fundamentals that he teaches through his book, and we discuss them in the course of the week. In this session, we look at his view on emotions, or what he calls action signals, signs that you should act on something. Do share your views and do join our book club on either WeChat, WhatsApp, or on our Facebook group chat for more interactive discussions with more book club members, all right? And let us begin. We begin with a quote by Carl Jung. He says, "There can be no transforming of darkness into light and of apathy into movement without emotion." An emotion is a feeling that motions you to do something. When you feel a certain feeling, you tend to behave in a certain way. Some people live in the delusion that they have no control of their emotions and that the emotions are to blame for the actions they do. They throw a tantrum on you, blame it on their bad temper. It's not their fault. Tony reveals 4 basic ways in which people deal with their emotions and then shares 6 steps to emotional mastery. I think that's what we want to really get to acquiring. Let's look closely at all of these, starting with the 4 basic ways. The first one is avoidance. This is where people avoid any action that will bring the emotions that they least desire, that they don't want in their lives. They won't make an investment because they avoid risk. They won't confront because they fear the tension. They won't step out of their comfort zone because comfort is actually the most important to them. And you know anyone like this? Well, the second one is denial. Such a person compresses their emotions with words such as, "Oh, it's okay, it doesn't really feel that bad, it doesn't really matter," when in reality they are deeply wounded on the inside and are blaming themselves for everything. And some even come to the conclusion that they are the problem and that bad things always seem to find them wherever they go. Okay, do you know anyone like that? Okay. A third is competition. This is where a person seemingly attracts other people who are focusing on a challenge and will compete, for who's better. By saying words such as, "Oh, you think you have it hard? Wait till you hear what happened to me." They seem to take pride in their misfortune and sometimes even associate it with who they are. They identify with negativity. That is so sad. Anyone you know who behaves this way? Oh, okay, and the 4th is learning and using. This kind of person will identify the emotion and learn to see the pattern that stirs up the emotion and thereby use the emotion to help learn so that they can quickly move on with their life. A typical example is of a person who learns from a love relationship gone wrong. Okay, so they learn from it, see what lessons were there, and they move on. So which from these 4 basic ways do you currently identify with? Learn that once you have identified your current strategy, if you're not happy with it, you actually can change it, okay? If you're happy with it, great. And if you were to ask me, the 4th is the best kind, as it helps you to really take the most from every experience and then learn from it and move on. And then we look at the 6 steps of emotional mastery. The first is step number one, identify what you are feeling. But now you need to learn to really identify what you are feeling. Don't just generalize your feelings as good or bad, but take it a step further and identify, how disappointed feels like, how hurt feels like, how embarrassed, how under pressure, how overwhelmed feels like, nervous, scared, unprepared, okay? Know exactly how these emotions feel like, and also know exactly how excited feels like, how accomplished feels like. When you feel as if you are appreciated, you are loved, you are happy. Know exactly what that emotion feels like, and don't just say good or bad. So when the teacher, for example, asks you a question and you answer incorrectly in front of your classmates and everybody in class laughs, how do you feel? Okay, do you feel you are unprepared? Do you feel embarrassed? Do you feel angry? Do you feel hurt? Learn to identify the emotion for what it truly is so that you can best learn from it. The second one is to acknowledge and appreciate your emotions. Remember, they are meant to guide you. They are meant to support and assist you in life. So know that they are there to support you and even remind you of lessons that you have previously learned. Never avoid and ignore your emotions. Look closely to what they tell you. Okay, again, learn from them so that you can move on with your life sooner and get the most lessons you can. The third, step number 3, is to get curious about the message that the emotion is telling you. Remember, the action signals, the emotions are telling you to make some action. So be curious. What are they telling you? Getting curious is an important tool that will lead you to searching the lessons to find out, and get your mind in a mental state that will interrupt you being absorbed by such an emotion, but will rather channel it to focusing on the solution. You want to focus on the solution. So for example, she dumped you and broke your heart, or he cheated on you. Instead of being absorbed by the emotion and the feeling, rather let curiosity help you learn from it and seek ways to become better and stronger. Okay, move on with your life. Step 4, get confident that you can handle the emotion. Okay, believe it or not, no matter how hard it feels, you can handle it. One of the easiest ways is to remember a time in your past where you had the same emotion and how you handled it in the past. If you're able to handle it successfully in the past, well, then you can repeat the strategy that you use. Did you, for example, go to the gym? Did you work out? Did you write some emotions down, how you felt? Did you talk to a friend? Did you confront the person and tell them how you felt? If whatever you did in the past worked, you already know you've got a winning strategy. If what you did in the past didn't work, you know what? You know what doesn't work. You are able to work on improving it, okay? But get confident that you will overcome, because believe it or not, in the past you overcame it, right? And step number 5, take it a step further and get confident that you can also handle the challenge if it ever presents itself in your life in future again. Okay, so write down how you handled it in the past, and write down how you have handled it now. Okay, and also observe, have your strategies, have you been using similar strategies? Are they working? Is there a pattern with your strategies? Do you feel that you should change your strategies? You're able to observe that, and next time you will be better prepared to deal with that kind of emotion. So remember again that emotions are action signals. They motion you to take action. So number 6, the last step, get excited. Okay, get excited for knowing that you have the ability to get the actions done, and don't sit in one place. Okay, work on moving on. Okay, you want to move on, you want to take action. You don't want to be absorbed by any emotion. Remind yourself that you are not perfect, okay? And in fact, you don't have to be perfect. No one ever does. This, however, does not mean that you stop trying to become a better person, but rather that you assist on, improving yourself. Work on improving yourself, but don't be too hard on yourself. Any shortcoming you observe is just an opportunity for further improvement. Tony teaches us a word that is spelled C-A-N-I, okay? And it's pronounced canai. And it actually is an acronym for the words constant and never-ending improvement. Being the best at everything is absolutely overwhelming, but making small, constant improvement is achievable, right? And will slowly create a solid foundation and the correct momentum to getting you to where you want, to get to and far beyond. So the trick to this is consistency. Be consistent. Don't be satisfied with scattered, successes, but work on being consistent in your improvement. In order to achieve the best results you ever want for yourself, you need to first believe. that you can achieve them. If you believe you have what it takes, then you simply will. And if you don't believe you have what it takes, then you simply will never achieve the results you most desire of your life. So wise King Solomon once said, "As he thinketh, so is he." And that's in Proverbs 23 verse 7. So believe that you determine your destiny. Believe that you have what it takes. Believe that you have everything you need to become whatever it is that you want to be inside of you right now. Henry David Thoreau says, "Things do not change. We change." The naysayers won't change in your life. You must change. Those who ridicule you and judge you and stigmatize you and say, "Who do you think you are?" they won't change, but you must change. Your bad spending habits, your debt, your bad associates, your habit of gossiping, your procrastination, all of this won't change. You must change them. Your trend of broken relationships, cheaters in your life, unhappy marriages, they won't change until you change. This change thing seems to always begin with you. So decide on the life you truly want for yourself and acknowledge that the change will begin with you. I will definitely love to hear from you and your experience with this book, okay? What were your findings in reading the book, Awaken the Giant Within? Is it making an impact in your life? And that's the end again of this session. Join us again in the next session where we discuss a new book. Remember, there's a lot of content shared in this book. It's just that we have, we want to really make summaries of what we are learning. So do share any additional points that you also have learned. There really has been a lot. We'll definitely meet again in the next video. Super excited. Thank you. Have an awesome one.